10th class students have a board exam which totally consumes them and should. And therefore, I think the idea is to dial it back to the ninth grade or the eighth grade, or postpone it to the 11th grade, because during the 10th you can build on the momentum of your 8th and your ninth. But starting afresh when you have so much pressure is not, you're not going to do justice to your board exams or to this. Now remember, your board exam scores are tattooed across your forehead for life. It does not matter what the subject is, how much you like it or you hate it, how much your teacher likes it, how much you like your teacher, nothing. It's an absolute score. That transcript is going to be utilized. Transcript is a mark sheet. Is going to be utilized by the university you apply to and by your employers. And it'll be used by every employer. Regardless, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, 5 jobs, after everybody likes you and hires you, HR will say, could you please produce your 10th class transcript? So, you really don't have a choice but to excel and to say, well, I'm going to go to IIT, so I'm going to not focus on school, I'm going to go to Allen and I'm going to do other stuff. Well, then this is the time you should disconnect this podcast, since it is not relevant to you anymore. If you have cast your lot in going to IIT and you're off to Kota, you're going to do some Allen, you're going to do all that. That is a very well structured proposition, and I have nothing to add. I'm not going to subtract either. I'm not going to say don't do it. I'm going to say my focus is helping Indian school children reach US universities. Okay. So now dialing back from the 10th, if you want to go back to the ninth, if you're in a ninth class, it's getting late. How crazy is that? You say, well, I have 3 more years to go. How come it's getting late? Simply because 10th is not available to you. It's taken by the boards, and 12th, the die is cast. So 9th is very important. By now you have started developing maturity, you've broken into the teen years, and now you're going to have to decide what you're going to do with your life, because suddenly you have this temptation to drive a scooter or a motorbike, or dress up and put gel in your hair and go to movies or play video games for hours on end. Or girls suddenly say, oh my god, am I pretty or what? And they start wasting a lot of time on what the other girls are supposed to be doing, So therefore, I need to present to you a very powerful alternative that is a serious contender for your time, attention, and resources. Money is not yours anyway. It's parents' money. So I'm going to give you a good reason to save it. Okay. Now, if you're a 9th class student, I want you to think of one simple line. And that line is, all things being equal, my classmates are coming from the same school. All of us toppers are going to be in the same, whisker of each other. Now, if somebody were to have a seat, a single seat, such as a scholarship, and you're all from the same similar background. So again, you don't have those immutable laws, such as, we're all of the same caste or creed or whatever. You're all the same. So everything being same, what makes you special? And this is what you have to start focusing on in your ninth grade. As you go forward, eighth grade is also going to surface. But let's stick on ninth because ninth is very crisp. What makes you different? The only answer to this is, what did you do that was not required of you? Like, look at me. What am I doing right now? I'm making a podcast. To help unknown people. It was not required of me. I'm still doing it. Why? Because I think I can. Because it does not require much input from me, but the output is mind-boggling. It is staggering in scope. And somebody says, oh, how stupid. You're not trying to make money. How ridiculous for me to insert myself as a bloody consumer when I am the producer. Okay? It's like a politician who says, I have to make a highway from Bangalore to Chennai. But my village comes in the middle. So you know what I should do? Instead of a straight line from Bangalore to Chennai, let me make a highway that goes past my house. So that my land value goes up by 5 times. In the process, he created a legacy of waste. When people have to travel 15 extra kilometers and brake left and brake right just because he inserted himself into the equation. No. So, just as I have removed myself from this equation, where I am not the consumer, I am only a producer, put on one hat and then execute with fervor, as you shall see. I lead by example, as you will soon realize. Similarly, you were not required to do that particular thing, yet you did it. And look at the way, how much pride I talk about my underprivileged school children, when other people could be talking with pride about, my car is so big, my car drives so fast, my house is so big. What? Okay, there you are. And that's who you shall be, and you and I, pot company now. We're never going to meet again. Similar fashion. All your friends around you are going to be consumers. They are going to take dad's money or mom's money or EMIs, which is the biggest craziness if you want me to dwell on EMIs, I can do a whole video on that. Just put it in the comments. Instead of being a consumer, where, what do I do with your time? I played video games. You were a consumer. I made a video game. Now we are talking. I used to play with apps and I know this app and I know that app and, I made an app which solved this particular problem. For example, I used to be advisor to the collector of Dantewada. And this child in the 7th grade won the President's Award. for innovation. And the innovation was that they had a septic tank in the home, and when the septic tank would rise, then overflow, it would ruin the whole house. So she put in a tube that was essentially a sensor. And when the sensor would start rising, it would trip over some vegetable that costs money. So they want to save it, but you have to put it back into the septic tank so it absorbs the extra overflow and thus prevent the rise. Seventh grader, and she won the President's Award. Now, having won the President's Award, it'll last her for life. No? Similarly, you need to look around you and say, how can I help? Just as I saw this video cast of she talking about donkey trails for poor rural children to put their parents in eternal debt for the purpose of smuggling themselves into Canada or USA. I saw that and I said, my God, I've got to reach out to them. And thus this podcast was born. Similarly, look around you. You have to develop a single mindset, and that mindset is of seva. What can I do to help? And then you set about solving that problem yourself. And as you go about solving that problem, you'll need more resources, then you have to harness those resources. I'll show you how. We'll do many use cases. You have to harness those resources to be able to do stuff. And once you've done it, then you need to convert that into an app. So there was this very intelligent child in Dhirubhai Ambani school, I think, whose dog had developed a gait problem. The gait means walking. So dogs are supposed to walk normally. This dog is limping. And that limp, if it had been caught early, they would have identified that this dog is developing arthritis. And they came in too late and it developed to an advanced stage. So this guy felt a very deep sense of loss. He said, wait a second. Why don't I build a harness for dogs to put on the shoulder as in the walk normally? And that as the gait goes up and down, the sensor continuously either stores it in a chip that can be transmitted via Bluetooth to a phone or upload it to the cloud. So the owner of the dog can see a timeline of the dog's gait becoming uneven. So once it grows above a certain threshold, it starts ringing alarms. Now the owner of the dog takes him to a vet, the veterinary doctor, and says my dog has a gait problem. And then he can open the app and say, look, this is the weight, this is the gait, this is the gait. So over months, you got the data stored. How valuable is that? This guy, this child, made an app that was featured by the Dhirubhai Ambani universe. What do you think is going to happen to his career? Is he unstoppable or what? I think I'll put a link to that particular invention and the video that describes this child, as well as the app, in the comments below, so that you can verify. Now, this child was obviously from a good school, goes to a good school, from a good family, but so were all his classmates, no? But he felt empathy for a dog in pain. People see a dog and they say run away or they kick the dog. This guy is looking at the dog. He says, oh my God, that dog is in pain. What can I do to help? I'm not a doctor, but I'm seeing this gait problem. Now you think he did not find help to develop those sensors, develop the harness? Obviously, he went to his teachers. Or he must have gone to his father, who must have made a couple of phone calls. Somebody must have helped. But he is the guy who put it together. And it's not as his father cut a check, oh, you please subcontract it to somebody and deliver. No. He said, I'll make it. Because if you have your father cut a check, then, you've gone back to being consumer. You did not produce. You did not innovate. Now imagine this child walking in to an interview with me. He is not on my interview schedule. He is in Bombay. I'm in Bangalore. We shall not meet. So I can assure you. But imagine him walking in and I say, well, so tell me something that you've been doing which you're passionate about. And then he starts talking about this. And then we discuss further. And then we drill deeper. It's going to take over the entire space. And what am I going to say? I said, oh my God, this guy belongs in MIT. And I would write him a beautiful recommendation with nice arguments as to what he did, why he did. Very substantial. Now, this is an example of what you should be looking for opportunities to do in the 9th grade. You know why? Because in the 9th grade, you're playing with things. You're playing with Lego, you're trying a bicycle, you're trying to fit a motor onto a bicycle. Now imagine say, well, I used to observe these farmers who were pulling their crop, and I went and installed a motor on their rickshaw. Now, that's creative, no? And then you start documenting it and you start telling your story. And then you tell others around you this, oh my God, what an awesome guy. How can I help? And people come and they help you and you say, well, no, you don't do this. You do just that. Because this I already got discovered. Suddenly, you're coordinating stuff. You're doing things. You understand? So, in the 9th grade, develop a mindset for trying to help and innovate. When you see a problem, what do? You examine the problem and you think about one solution. You think the first solution will work? No. It'll fail, but then you realize, well, oh, I shouldn't have done this, maybe I should do this. Then you try again. Try another solution. Then try another solution. Then try another solution. After you've gone through 17 iterations of this, suddenly come up with a solution. And it's not that you found a solution that became a commercial hit, that made the front page of Time magazine. No. You went through the process of failure. And you failed because physics failed you, not your teacher, because the laws of the universe failed you. Those are the final frontier. Laws of physics. So if this doesn't fit, it falls down. Laws of physics. It's not that my teacher failed me because teacher described a problem and I solved the problem on paper. Nah. That's okay. That you're going to do anyway. But when you're starting to do this, you're trying to iterate your way through better solutions, through a different solution. Then you say, well, this one's not working at all. And you scratch it. But all the time, you're documenting it. Before you start doing something, you write the hypothesis. This is what I'm going to do. because this is my hypothesis and this is what I'm going to believe will be an outcome. Below that, you write, here are the risk factors. This is one piece of paper, one side of, always have a diary. One side or one sheet. Write this before you try the experiment. After the experiment was over, turn the page and write what actually happened, why your hypothesis was wrong, was it in your assumptions or was it not in your assumptions? Because I assure you, it may not have been, but now and hereafter forever it will be. That's why when venture capitalists, I've been venture capital backed twice, I am still a venture capitalist. Venture capitalists look not to see that you've been perfect. They want to see that you failed and you got up and you learned from it and you improved upon it and you came back to market. And you have to fail small and fail frequently. You don't have to fail spectacularly. That's foolish. People say, Mom, I want to be a businessman. Can you please sell your jewelry and give me your money so that I can go and do whatever, blank. What does the mom say? Beta, tumhare liye to hai. Le lo. And the guy goes and promptly loses it. And then all sorts of complications happen. Why? Don't assume mom has money. Don't assume dad has money. Just be reliant. Just being self-reliant. I rely on myself. So what if I'm ninth grader? So what if I'm 14 years old? Doesn't matter. And oh, by the way, don't bother telling your friends or kids because they're not going to give you the permission. Okay? So they're going to say, क्या कर रहा है? क्यों कर रहा है? अरे आना, चल चाय पीते हैं, or whatever, चल mall में जाते हैं. So don't bother with those friends because remember, like I told you, there was scholarship. Everything being equal, when a guy comes along with a scholarship, you want him to give you the scholarship. And that means if you got it, they did not. So, the other thing you're starting to do is you're going to walk alone. But remember, two people walk alone. The guy at the leader of the pack, who's the leader of the pack, he walks alone. And the guy who's the end of the pack, he walks alone. Okay? So get used to walking alone. You'll be walking at the head of the pack. You won't even bother to look back. You'll just walk. Okay? Imagine, have you ever seen that when somebody cracks a joke, the kid laughs first. And adults, they look around at each other, they say, well, are they laughing? And then they laugh. The kid couldn't care what others are thinking. He thought the joke was good, so he responded. He walks alone. And he is not afraid to be the only guy laughing. You understand? So, as a 14-year-old, suddenly peer pressure is going to start becoming a cloud over your head and you're going to look at others for what they are doing. Remember, they're equally clueless. But they hide the fact from you and they get into this consumer mindset. Consumptive. Be consumptive. Consume this, consume that. No, you don't want to be a consumer. You want to be a producer. Okay? So we will spend a lot of time. I expect many of people to surface with some ideas. I'm happy to run with any and all of them. So, as a ninth grader, start by looking for opportunities to be of service. Okay? Second, now you have time to read. Do not read junk. Do not spend your time wasting on TikTok. Okay? You just don't have time. Remember this. Start reading the biographies. Read the biography of Elon Musk. Read the biography of Steve Jobs. Get on X. See what Elon Musk is saying. See what Elon Musk is doing. He has inspired a generation. So look for ways to be inspired and then start solving problems in your own way. And avoid all talk where people talk about consumerism. अरे उसकी गाड़ी देखी, अरे उसका नाइकी का शूज देखा, अरे उसके कॉन्सर्ट में मैं गया तो देखा था, तो किधर बैठा था, आगे बैठा था कि पीछे बैठा था, ओ आईफोन आ गया तेरे पास, कौन सा आईफोन है, अरे तेरे पास है, तेरे पास 17, अरे मेरे पास प्रो है, ओ माय गॉड. You think these guys are going to go to top universities and excel and become highly desired by the Googles and the SpaceX of the world? You think that guy will ever be employed by SpaceX to design a rocket or design a hangar that catches a rocket? No. So you already left them behind. And get used to it. It's okay. Because when SpaceX hires, they're going to hire 10 people from all the major universities of the United States. So even at MIT, they'll be hiring 2 or 3 people. Okay? So get used to being a majority of one. You stand alone because you're pursuing a whole different track. Now, if this is your mindset, do you think that when a newspaper does an article on you or a blog on you, you think scholarships can be far behind? You think admission to the top universities can be denied to you? They can't deny it. Okay? You think that kid that in Bombay, that Dhirubhai Mani school gate inventor, you think he will not be eligible for the Intel competition? You think, imagine somebody winning the Intel competition. What are his chances of getting into, when I say MIT, because it's a college that I know, I love my alma mater, but there are others like that. But I use that as a placeholder so not to waste words. But do you think that when that guy applies to MIT and you or anybody else applies to MIT, you think that guy needs ChatGPT? He has a story to tell. And within a story, he'll just say, read that blog or read that newspaper article or read that magazine article about me. I rest my case. Don't you want to be one of them? Do these guys say, Mom, Mummy, jewelry बेचो, मेरे को पैसा दो, मेरे को business करने का? You think you're one of them? No. You have already started soaring like an eagle. So it is my intent to inspire a generation of people who are right now in the 9th grade. 8th grade is similar. It's a beautiful time. You are young. You are completely innocent of the ways of the world. But don't get into the consumerism. Get into the production and start reading, catching up on documentaries. Like, enough of the Pokemon, enough of the Xbox. Okay? If you want to be in the game space, use AI, use ChatGPT to invent a game. Producer mindset. You understand? Observe how different this is from what they teach in Kota. Talk. Everybody's the same. And because they have identified those formulae, therefore they're able to get some people in, and a lot of people don't do too well. That's okay. But they've adopted a path. That's why I don't think that path and I have any immiscibility. We have no, it's like oil and vinegar, we're going to be separate. But this is how you need to think and act, so that when it comes time for you to write an application, you have a powerful story to tell, and more importantly, others are telling a story about you. All right. So with this, I hope I've laid out the kind of approach we're going to have. These are going to be in-depth videos. We're going to go solid depth. There may be some short videos because I may be answering a couple of questions and I want to keep it focused to that question. And but this is the way I teach, and this is the way I plumb depths, and once in that depth continue to develop. Similarly, you have to learn how to plumb depths, and once you're at that depth, explore and allow your imagination to run and have great creativity and have great fun. Notice all of this is a lot of fun. Okay? So you're going to have a lot of fun while you're doing this without being a consumer, without being a parasite on your parents and family resources. Okay? And being a producer is a habit for the rest of your life. I'm 64. I just started producing all over again, right? So welcome aboard. It's going to be a fun ride.